Good evening, everyone. Late Night Mega here, and tonight, Nintendo is presenting again, but I'm also presenting to you Metroid 4, Metroid Fusion. This came out for the Game Boy Advance, so we're playing on the GameCube with the Game Boy Advance player attached to it. And I changed the background or the frame, so it's no longer annoyingly purple. I think just a dark, generic black background or frame might be a bit more appealing. What am I doing here? We don't want to see any of this. What we want is to go into a new game. There it is. I have to press a button to get to the title screen. Okay, so these are the files I have. I thought I had more for files. Okay, well, I thought for sure I had a file that would have been a complete game and I would just start a new game over top of that. I have a reason for that, but anyways, more on that later. First, it's time for tons of plot. I'd been assigned to watch over biologics research team. So once again, I found myself on the surface of SR388. No, I am not giving Samus a special voice because I don't think I'll be able to maintain it that long, for as long as this cutscene goes on, and I don't think I could make something appropriate voice acting wise. So this is actually a really neat cutscene. There's a lot of plot in this intro. It was there that I was attacked by a life form I had never encountered before. It was only later that I learned the identity of my attacker, the parasitic organism we now know as X. Unaware of my condition, I was returning to the station when disaster struck. Once the X had infested my central nervous system, I lost consciousness and my ship drifted into an asteroid belt. Well, that seems coincidentally inconvenient. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of weird, just Samus just suddenly veering off. It's the only weird part, well, there's a lot of weird parts about this, but the ship's emergency systems automatically ejected escape pod before impact. Biologics vessel recovered it and transported me to Galactic Federation HQ. However, during the journey, the X multiplied within me, corrupting large areas of my power suit. It then came to light that the organic components of my power suit had become so integrated with my system that it could not be removed while I was unconscious. Large portions of my suit had to be surgically removed, dramatically altering my physical appearance. However, the X in my central nervous system were too embedded to be removed safely. I was given a minimal chance of survival. Then, someone found a cure. They proposed using a Metroid cell to make an anti-X vaccine. It seems that the Federation had managed to preserve a cell culture from the last infant Metroid from SR388, the one that died saving us from Mother Brain in Super Metroid. The serum was prepared and injected without delay. The X-Parasites were immediately and completely destroyed. So Metroids were the natural predator of this X-Parasite. In fact, the Metroids were created to be a counter to the X-Parasite. So something that we've been battling throughout this entire series is now the thing that we probably shouldn't have killed. As for me, one life ended, yet I survived, reborn as something different. Pondering this fact, I realize I owe the Metroid hatchling my life twice over. We'll soon be arriving at the BSL research station. I must prepare for docking. The ship's computer has notified me of our approach to the Biologic Space Labs, or BSL, research station. During my surgery, the research team sent the last batch of creatures we captured there, as well as the infected pieces of my power suit. After regaining consciousness, I learned that an unexplained explosion rocked the station. For some reason, this awoke a nameless fear in my heart, and now I am being sent there to investigate. My mission on the BSL station will be overseen by my new ship's computer. Following the commands of this blunt computerized CO is something I have to bear, as it was a condition for my taking the ship. For someone who dislikes taking orders, this is the second time I've found myself having to do so. It makes me recall my other CO. Alright, so yeah, we went on a mission in Metroid 2 to exterminate, well, we didn't, but Samus did, to exterminate all of the Metroids on planet SR-388. Turns out that was now a big mistake. So the whole Metroid life-sucking thing, what it looks like the Metroids normally do with their attack and their life draining, is actually probably just a way to cure something that's been infected with X and extract all of the X parasite out of them. Kind of a neat design. I don't know if that's ever fully explained like that, but that's how I look at it. And it's probably not far from being accurate. Okay, there's been an explosion in the quarantine bay. The bay currently stores capsules containing recent samples from SR-388, as well as parts of your suit infected by the X-parasites. The cause of the explosion is as yet unclear. Investigate. The quarantine bay is here. Move quickly and quietly. You are still unable to use most of your latent abilities. Latent abilities? Latent abilities? Latent... Sounds French. Don't forget that, Samus. French. Stop at the navigation room on the way. Uplink from there. Is your objective clear? So there's a lot of talking to this computer and a lot of linearity to this, and for the most part I don't mind that. So this is, between this and Super Metroid, one of them is my favorite Metroid game so far. Depends which day of the week it is. We have the ability to hang on ledges now. And we have a blaster, and that's about all we have. We can go to our status screen where we have nothing. We can engage sleep mode. That doesn't seem appropriate. We're not putting this game to bed yet. Forget going to the navigation screen. I will not be told what to do. Those doors are locked. Those doors are very locked. Anyways, the reason I wanted to start a new game over a full save file is, I believe doing that would give you... Yes, I know it's ahead. Vital signs are confirmed, to be careful. Can't go that way now either. A lot of people don't like this game because of the linearity of it, and I can understand that, but yeah, and I do have a couple issues with that myself. So yeah, that's why depending on the day, some days Metroid Fusion is my favorite Metroid game. Some days it's Super Metroid. Quarantine Bay. Hey look, I found a thing. Explosions and an X, and yeah, we killed the thing. We're good to go. Then the door will unlock. So creepy way to start things off here, and I like it. I love the whole setup for this whole game. I think it's very well done. But what was I? This is unfortunate news. The specimens brought back by the field team were infected by X-parasites. Really, who knew? The X can mimic its prey. Any specimen could have hosted it. Before the explosion, a security sensor scanned one. The gelatinous X-parasites invade and rapidly reproduce, killing the host creature. They also absorb DNA and use it to mimic the host. You were almost killed by an X infection. Only the Metroid vaccine saved your life. It seems Metroids were the main predators of the X. I explained all this. That's why the vaccine works so quickly and so well. But it has also changed your cellular makeup. You will never be infected by X again. In fact, you can now absorb any free-floating X-parasite without a host by merely touching them, and you'll restore health and or missiles by doing so. This will allow you to... I need to stop explaining things ahead of schedule. You may also restore latent abilities this way, so pursue free X-parasites whenever you possibly can. The station is home to many species, some violent ones. That seems convenient for the plot. We must keep the X out of the breeding environments. At all costs, this is vital, Samus. I'm already detecting massive biosigns in this region the X are gathering. This may be our chance to exterminate them, but you are only at 10% battle capacity. Your chance of survival is extremely low. The Federation needs you alive and on duty, Samus. Is your objective clear? Now get along. I have released the lock on level 0 hatches. Look for the blinking hatches. So yeah, we have different levels of locks that'll open up. But anyways, if I had started a new game over a completed save file, I would be able to go to the pause screen at pretty much any point, and it would show me how many of each item there is to collect in that particular area left to find. Don't even try anything. And this is just a save room. Oh yeah, I can't get to the ones up there because those are locks. Well, we may as well save it. And so for the purposes of getting 100% like I'm probably going to try to do, I found a secret. I can't get through there because I don't have the morph ball yet. I don't have any abilities yet other than blasting stuff. I can't blast that. So the controls for diagonal are a little bit weird. Remember, this is Game Boy Advance, so we only have A, B, L, and R to work with, and the select button, but that won't be till later. So when I press the L button, I look up, and I have to press down again to get Samus to look downward and fire at the ground. So that's 2 buttons to press, or 2 things to do, instead of Metroid Prime, where all I had to, or Super Metroid, where all I had to do is press L and it would go down, R would go up. R does nothing right now. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What a waste of a button. I have received news from HQ. They can support you with downloadable weapons data. Once you have this data, you'll be able to use missiles. This will help against some enemies your beam can't hurt. Head to the data room for the download. The data room is here. Oh, it's the one with the D. Who knew? Is your objective clear? No, it's not. With missiles, your chance of survival climbs to 20%. Alright, I'll go to your frilly missile room. Oh, look, dead scientists. Well, mutated scientists. I don't think I'm getting through there. Oh, you ducked. Another thing about this game is Samus will tend to take a lot more damage than normal from enemies, or a lot more damage than in other Metroid games, at least in my opinion. That computer reminds me of a gruff Federation CO I served under the name Adam Malkovich. He called me Lady on missions. From anyone else, it would have sounded sarcastic, but Adam made it sound dignified. Out of respect and with some irony, I named the computer after him. Also, if the volume of the game is too loud, just bear with it for this part. I'm going to check that as soon as I stop this recording, because I don't want something like loud volume, loud game volume, and quiet me wrecking this whole run. So Yes, if the game volume is too loud, it'll be fixed by the next part. We got missile data. Oh, hold down R and press B. Well, I guess R is not as useless as we once thought. Now, I do like this because we can really quickly switch to missiles. That's creepy. Bad things are afoot.